So this is my summary of learning by me, Carlos Martinez, for ECS 203. My understanding of both curriculum and pedagogy has evolved quite a lot over the semester. I would say to start the semester, I had a minimal understanding of what both these concepts really were, aside from being introduced to them in my first year in the education program. As we begun this class and dove into topics like the types of curriculum such as product, process, and praxis, or things like the formal curriculum or hidden curriculum, I began to understand more and more what makes up a curriculum and what a curriculum is for. One thing that was very cemented in my new understanding of curriculum was that curriculum can never be neutral, and we as teachers can never be neutral as well. It's also interesting to learn about the different forms of pedagogy that could be used in the classroom, such as critical pedagogy and queer-based pedagogy, plus the learning theories that these happen to be based on, such as behaviorist theory, cognitive theory, and constructivist theory. I also felt that after completing each big assignment of the semester, I certainly felt more confident in my understanding of both curriculum and pedagogy because we got to analyze, collaborate with a partner, and create our own kind of ideas of what a curriculum is. So I felt that that really went a long way into helping our understanding. The first reading we did by Kevin Kumashiro really stood out to me and stuck with me the whole semester because I felt like it really made you reflect, look at yourself and the biases you may have when thinking about what's common sense for you, your future classroom, and what common sense is to our society. Another scholar that stood out to me, and I did more research on myself, was Maxine Green, who was a big advocate of using the arts in education. Overall, I really think I have a much more in-depth understanding of what both curriculum and pedagogy are after learning about the many parts it takes to make up each of these teaching experiences. I'm confident in my future as a teacher. I will look back on some of these notes I've taken in this class when I'm in need of help or maybe to clear something up. For me, my ideal future in teaching would be one where I have created a welcoming classroom environment, have developed a relationship with my students, and have established a reasonable set of expectations for both students and teachers. I think with the curriculum in front of me, I would first review it, look at it, and consider what adjustments could be made to best suit the students in my classroom that will have to experience the curriculum. I then would look at the outcomes and indicators to see what the goals and expectations are for students and see what my best approach as a teacher would be to get the content done in the right amount of time while still getting enough learning and critical thinking done, kind of thing. After that, I think I would do my best to find the right resources and materials to help students succeed and to help the class overall move smoothly through the curriculum. My pedagogical approach is something that I'm not as confident about how I will do it in my future. Right now, what makes the most sense to me with the knowledge I have would be to approach education with a little bit from each method. So things like connecting learning with the community, developing critical consciousness in students, and pushing for a more anti-oppressive approach to pedagogy are things I want to have a part of my future teaching journey. I believe that as teachers, we play many roles in the classroom, and each student requires a bit from each of those roles. So we need to be able to step into many different shoes and be able to adapt with the changes around us. So for me, this class has definitely included a lot of new information about teaching, education, and the profession I've chosen for my future. Reflecting back after the semester, I can say absorbing this new knowledge has been quite a lot at times, and it makes me a bit nervous as to how much really goes into being a teacher and how much work is required. However, I feel confident in what I have learned in my degree so far, and I feel that I've started a good foundation for my future teaching career. At times, I have felt uncertain about my understanding of curriculum and how to construct one, but I feel like this class has helped me take the first few steps into really understanding what a curriculum is and how to create one as a teacher. I think that this class was important as well for hearing the many different opinions from many different future teachers during our discussions. It was always interesting to hear the differences and similarities there were into how we each saw teaching and education. For my future as a teacher, I know that the learning never stops, and as a teacher, it's important to keep expanding our knowledge to be able to evolve with the student population and the ever-changing demands of education. To keep growing in the future, I hope I can always be open-minded to new ideas in the classroom, open-minded to my students and colleagues, and to remember that mistakes are always going to be made, but what's important is what we learn from our mistakes so we can be better version of ourselves. So that was my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.